Hello and welcome back to another awesome video about Super Tuesday 2 and the Biden surge. Now, let me break into this by saying that this was an utter and out, complete and utter victory for Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., or whatever his name is, because he won what is almost all the states that are relevant anyway, and he won Michigan in a big way. Now, let me tell you something. He had not have been so powerful if it not had been for the dropout of major candidates like the gay guy, the substitute teacher looking woman, the Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg. What else do we have? But anyway, the point is that these helped him win in Minnesota. These all snowball for him to win in places like Michigan, and regardless of what you think, what we have so far is an area in which Biden wins Idaho, which was projected to go massively for Sanders, by the way. 49% for Biden, 43% for Sanders. Michigan, 53% for Biden, 36% for Sanders. Okay? This is all to go to the point that if you were to refer to the slides that I have, you have a firebrand socialist, but he's ironically very old, and he simply does not have that certain youth that he needs to really propel himself in this election. You have Joe Biden, which is oxymoronically the guy who is stable and strong, yet he is weak cognitively, and he is declining fast. And so we go to this next slide, and we see that Michigan equals the lower than expected Bernie votes. Bernie, who had won Michigan and had pulled ahead ostensibly by like 2%, an upset victory against Hillary Clinton, had won by maybe 49% or something. Now he underperforms here against Biden, 36-52. This is way, 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 way off from what you would think would happen. All counties going to Biden with 100% of votes recorded. And let's even just say with 5% of the votes going for Bloomberg, and even though he dropped out because of early voting, I suppose, so those 5% would have likely have gone majorly to Biden. So he even saved himself from that disgrace of a turnout. So complete and utter blowout for him. As we refer to another slide, we see that the overall trajectory for Biden in this primary is looking very optimistic. Now, let me mention this. Biden had already been at 99 out of 100 chance to win the majority, okay? Let's remember, not too long ago, he was at less than 25%. Not even a full month ago that was the case, and yet now he is really very, very much skyrocketing up to relevance. Ever since South Carolina, that headwind has given him a second win that was utterly necessary to win this nomination against Bernard Sanders. And what all people must realize is that Bernie, his only way to win was, look, to put this in context, Bernie had about 1/3 of the electorate to himself, and that was his ceiling. That's to say that socialist part of the party was 33%. That's how he's been peaking in the RCP averages, okay? 25 to 30 something percent. The only way he can win that, look, because remember, that's that monolith of 60 to 70% of the vote that is moderate neoliberal sellouts like Biden, Klobuchar, and Buttigieg. These people over in the right wing of their party would together be effectively trouncing Sanders, and that's exactly what is happening right now. Biden coalesced. The coalescing behind Biden is exactly what the moderates needed to stop Bernie Sanders. This is seen as the averages go from majority, no majority, to Sanders being the majority candidate and so forth. That being said, the DNC was going to rig it either way, so Sanders really had no chance. Anybody who is following Sanders and unironically thinks that he can win this on the first ballot is an idiot, and on the second ballot is even less likely because the superdelegates aren't going to break for Bernie. That is clear. Even if he had the popular vote mandate, he would not do it. Even if he had over 50% of the vote, somehow, and if they could, they would rig it against him or they would kill him. Okay? I don't care if he is less retarded, if he is less demented. It doesn't matter. The optics are clear. He looks terrible. Even for his age, he just looks bad. He's always looked like a grumpy old man, right? He's always been looking bad, hunched over. He does not have the optics of a president. He doesn't even look like a guy who could be in the Oval Office. He is just not there. Joe Biden, on the other hand, is very presidential in every way. Only thing stopping him is his age. Compare him to 2012. He was exactly what he needed to be at the time to really put Paul Ryan in his place. That was not even 8 years ago when that happened. And he was still able to debate for over an hour, very cognitively so for the most part. And sure, he's always had a stutter, but now it's getting really apparent that it's the dementia that's kicking in, which is exactly why Obama didn't want Biden to run in 2016. I think he already noticed that factor, and he told him not to embarrass himself. That's exactly what was going on. And Obama hasn't even endorsed Biden when it's the clear option right now. That is to say that he is waiting for Biden to survive this nomination and not die all of a sudden. Okay? Gabbard, of course, is at less than 1% of likability because she has no chance to win. Not more than 3% of the support. And she's just being a complete useless. People say Assad toady. I say just retard. I don't think she has any viability at all. Even if either of them die, she would have to wait for both of them to die to become the nominee, and even so, they would still screw her over in the process. She's being stubborn. I hate her being in all these websites like, oh, there's 3 candidates now. There's really 2. Okay, let's not include this garbage. Like, okay, there's 2 genders. Well, theoretically, there could be no. We're talking about 2. Okay. Well, there's men, there's women, and there's transvestite. No, let's just bare bones, okay? Biden, Bernie, there, done. Put that where it is. Now, Sanders, he's in the top 1/10 of 1% chance to win the nomination. That is to say that even if the plurality case was to be had, he does not even win a third of that probability. He has no chance at this point. He really needed a decisive win, specifically in Michigan, to win, and he did not pull that off. Now, let's go to this other slide. Bernard Sanders clearly does not have what it takes. Look at this. He is the Hindenburg. He is a hot air balloon propelled by BS, by broken promises, by idealism, and a fractured party which he exploited to its largest extent ever seen, where he was the front runner, where in 2016 he never was. But this was all hot air. Why? Well, he only was the biggest candidate out of 6 different moderates split between that vote, whereas he was only realistically competing with Elizabeth Warren, who was never, at that point of the race, more than half of his own support, whereas Biden was going neck and neck with Bloomberg. Then there was Buttigieg, and then there was Klobuchar, etc. As soon as all these people endorse Biden the weekend before Super Tuesday, we see Biden winning most of these states, illustrated in the map, with Bloomberg, of course, winning American Samoa. And here, Bernie looks on as he is defeated in the primaries, sitting by himself, ostensibly just standing there, doing nothing, getting cucked, being indecisive insofar as he cannot even drop out. He has no real chance at winning, basically, and he's being stubborn, and he's ruining the chances of the party. I believe that he has no further chance. He knows it himself. The Young Turks know it. Everybody knows it. He does not stand a chance. People say that they're going to riot in Milwaukee, that they're going to really bust some shots, let's say, in the Democratic convention. I don't see this happening, but this is awesome news for Trump. With a terrible bear market going on, with a 20% downturn in the peak stock market, it is looking rough economically for Donald Trump. But to see these people fight and slog in an unnecessary primary fight is exactly what he needs to stave off further unpopularity, and this is a good time for bad things to happen to the Democrats so that Trump can benefit. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe and comment, please.